Please like and subscribe. Do you like scary movies? I don't. I always say life's scary enough. But you always have that one friend, that one friend that always likes to watch scary movies. I had this old pal, Gary. Old pal, listen to me. He was younger than me. You ever have an old pal who's younger than you? And they're always younger than you. I mean, I guess that's obvious, but I'm saying it's always a big deal. Even if the age gap itself isn't a big deal. You're always the big brother friend. You've always got that extra bit of wisdom you gained in that little bit of time that you were on Earth before them. And you always have to lord it over them. That's your right. That's in fact, that's your duty. I remember back in the day, Gary and I were in gym class, and I was wearing this Marilyn Manson t-shirt, and he was like, "I like your shirt." So it was my duty to say, "Do you even know who Marilyn Manson is?" And Gary was like, "No." And I was like, "Did you even know that Marilyn Manson had one of his ribs removed so he could suck his own dick?" And Gary was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Probably not really, but I heard that once and I had to picture it, and now it's your turn." And after that, Marilyn Manson was Gary's favorite band. It's probably how come he got so into horror movies. He'd always come over to my house to watch them, because I got all my older brother's leftover DVDs when my older brother left home. Same way I got that Marilyn Manson t-shirt. Once again, I got to be the gatekeeper of wisdom. Gary always wanted to come to my house, and he always wanted to watch horror movies. And I never knew why. I mean, he'd always talk through the damn movie the second he pressed play. Every time, which was fine by me. I mean, I hate scary movies. I hate ghouls. I hate goblins. I especially hate ghosts. I always say life's scary enough. Why add death to the equation? But Gary always would. He would always pick these messed up, scary movies. And the second he hit play, he would always start talking all the way through the movie. And it was always the same conversation, saying how the scary movie wasn't scary and how he would have been able to kill the killer, And this is a true story, so I can give you literally 1,000 examples off the top of my head. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger shows up. He would say, "How's that scary?" I'd say, "How is Freddy Krueger scary?" Well, to start, he's a pedophile. He's also a ghost who returned from hell with knives for fingers, and you can't escape him in your dreams. And Gary would say, "Maybe you can't. I wouldn't need to escape him. Knives are a close combat weapon. I would never let him get close." He'd always get weirdly technical about it. He was like, "That's a close combat weapon." Before every kill, he tells 5 jokes from the other side of the street. Second he tries to cross, I fire 2 hollow points through his fucking fedora. Who's laughing now? I'd be like, "What if the gun jams?" He'd be like, "I have a Smith & Wesson. Never jams. No maintenance. It's like the Toyota of guns." Then I'd be like, "No, you don't." And he'd be like, "I would if I heard there was a ghost fucking pedophile stalking the streets. I'd stay fucking strapped up till I had him double tapped up. Otherwise, I'd keep a golf club right by the bed. Just as good." I'd be like, "As a gun, it is not just as good. I thought you didn't want to fight close combat." He'd be like, "He's not getting close. Freddy's 5'10". I've got a 6-foot wingspan and a golf club. That's 9 feet. That's light work." And credit where it's due, that was light work for Gary. He was always a big kid. When he was 10, he was 5'10" and fucking scrappy. I've seen him fight kids twice his size. Not twice his size. That's too big for a kid. But I'm saying the kid could scrap. There was a big kid in gym class, Mikey Mixon. His mom was the mayor. And he was always making jokes about us because we hung out a lot. And Gary was always coming over to my house for sleepovers because he loved watching scary movies. And also because he had a very scary home life. Long story. But Mikey Mixon was making jokes about Gary's scary home life. And Gary put Mikey Mixon in the mix. I mean, I remember the move and everything. He walked up to Mikey like he was gonna punch him, Then he fucking dropped into a squat, grabbed him from behind his knees, and dropped big Mikey Mix on his back like this. Oof! Just wailed on him after that. And Mikey Mixon was a big kid, but that's the thing. Everyone's the same size on their back. Anyway, I say all that to say Gary was tough. And yet, anytime we were having a sleepover, after he spent all day tough talking his horror movies, "Oh, this isn't scary enough. That wouldn't scare me." Every night, without fail, he would wake up in the middle of the night scared. And I'd get woken up by those big fingers of his jabbing me in the side like little knives as he wept. "Hey, Barb, can I come sleep with you? I saw Freddy Krueger." Honestly, it was funny to me, because by the time we finished the scary movie, Gary had always talked so much shit by the time we went to sleep that I wasn't even scared of it anymore. So it always became my duty to calm him down all night just by telling him the same things he'd been telling me all day. How to kill Freddy. How to kill Mike Myers. One time we watched the live-action Cat in the Hat, and we actually had to talk about how to kill Mike Myers. We do this every night until the sun came up. Then, 15 minutes later, without fail, finger to the ribs. Hey, Barb, you want to watch a scary movie? The Shining was one I remember. Because we only got to the first scene. Jack Nicholson was literally at his job interview. And Gary was like, I'd kill him right there. I was like, you would kill him? This man who has a scheduled appointment at the workplace, which has your social security number on file. Now, why would you do that? He hasn't even done anything yet. And Gary was like, and he never would. Because the second I saw that face, hammer fist. And I'd be like, that's Jack Nicholson. His face is just a face. And Gary would be like, yeah, just the fucking face Jeffrey Dahmer saw in the mirror every morning. And I'd be like, man, people always say that guys from the 70s look like Jeffrey Dahmer. In the 1970s, that's just how guys looked. Jeffrey Dahmer looked normal. That's how Jeffrey Dahmer happened. Of course, I wasn't actually alive in the 1970s to know that, but my brother told me that when we watched The Shining as kids, and I told him that Jack Nicholson looked like Jeffrey Dahmer. And I think I actually repeated to Gary word for word what he told me. That's how it is with your young friends. You pretend to be wise, and they pretend to be brave. And I remember specifically, Gary was acting like his brave plan to kill Jack Nicholson was really wise, you know? He was like, man, the second Jack Torrance stepped into my office, I'd tell him I have to step out, I have to diarrhea. Let's have the interview another time. But while he thought I was leaving for the bathroom, I'd go wait for his ass in the parking lot and use my car on him like a gun. I remember he was really proud of that. He kept phrasing it that exact same way. I'd use my car on him like a gun. I'd say, yes, you'd hit him with your car. And he was like, no, yeah, but listen to what I'm saying. Even though he caught me at work where I didn't have a weapon, I would use my Toyota like it was a gun and hit him on purpose. And I was like, yes, I understand. You would run down Jack Nicholson with a car because you don't like his face. He was like, no, I'd use my Toyota like a gun and kill him before he could kill me. And I was like, right, otherwise known as murder. Murder of an innocent man with a child. And Gary shrugged, well, if he's innocent, kudos to him. He goes to heaven when he dies. And I was like, and you'd go to jail. Gary was like, I wouldn't go to jail. I was like, why not? Gary was like, they just wouldn't catch me. I'd use my Toyota like a car and drive away. I was like, why are you so confident in this Toyota? And he was like, it's the Smith & Wesson of cars. It never breaks down. They got like 110 on the dash, and if you get away from a crime fast enough, the cops aren't going to waste their time looking for a guy who hit and ran one guy. I said, what makes you say that? And Gary said, they never found the guy who hit my mom. They never catch the people who kill people. Just look at Jack Nicholson. He's probably still acting. Then a couple hours later, I caught him looking at me. Hey, Barb, wake up. I saw Jack Nicholson. So, of course, I had to catch him back up on everything he'd been saying about how easily Wendy could have killed Jack Nicholson if she just had a Toyota to use on him like a gun. I mean, he is just a writer after all. And Gary would be like, but if it was freezing, what if the car stalled? I'd be like, it never stalls. It's a Toyota. It's the Smith & Wesson of cars. And Gary would be like, but she works at the hotel too. They have her social security card on file. What if they caught her? I'd say, it's like you said, they never catch you in real life. It's like, well, don't worry about what it's like right now. That'll scare you more. It's like a lot of stuff. Hold your golf club. Just remember, you got a 9-foot wingspan. You got nothing to be afraid of. In fact, maybe let me hold the golf club. Now you got me all fucked up. Fucking scary movies. Life's scary enough.